The study of geography in China begins in the Warring States period. It expands its scope beyond the Chinese homeland with the growth of the Chinese Empire under the Han Dynasty. It enters its golden age with the invention of the compass in the 11th century and peaks with 15th century Chinese exploration of the Pacific under Admiral Zheng He during the treasure voyages. Highlights: Warring States. 7 Qin state maps dated to the 4th century BC are found in Gansu province in 1986. Crown Prince Dan of Yan and Jing He's assassination plot against Qin Shi Huang in 227 BC. First reference to a map drawn on silk. Han Muamdui archaeological site reveals 3 maps drawn on silk, dated to the 2nd century BC, found in 1973. Shiji by Simo Qian, which included a wealth of geographical material thanks to the travels of Shang Qian in Central Asia. Book of Han, Rights of Zhou Luan Wanamzi. Yuejueshu, the first gazetteer in China, written in 52 CE. 3 Kingdoms Peixiu, the father of Chinese cartography, produced a map of China with plotted grid lines on a graduated scale. Yuan wrote the Vailu, including information on countries as far away as West Asia and the eastern provinces of the Roman Empire. Liu Song Dynasty. Fan Yi read the Book of Later Han, contains information on countries as far as West Asia, including Dakin, the Roman Empire. Tang Bianji, Great Tang records on the western regions. Jia Dan, Du and Chengxi, Song Su Song, Shen Kuo, Fan Chengde, Yuan Zhou Daguan, Wang Daiwan, Yu Qin, Ming Zheng He, Zhu Ziek, Matteo Ricci and Zhu Guangqi, Giulio Eleni, Martino Martini, Kinguzu Yudu Shifang Yuzhilao. Early survivals. Maps showing areas beyond China survive from the Song dynasty. A map carved in stone in AD 1137 shows 500 settlements and a dozen rivers in China, and includes large parts of Korea and Vietnam. On the reverse, the Yuji-2, a copy of a more ancient map, uses the grid system developed in China a millennium earlier. Maps of the Yuan dynasty. The expansion of Chinese geographical enterprise to a world scale originates from a historical setting of the Mongol Empire, which connected the Western Islamic world with the Chinese sphere, enabling both trade and the exchange of information. After the founding of the Yuan dynasty in 1271, Kublai Khan ordered the compilation of a geography monograph named Dewan De Tongji in 1285. In 1286, Persian astronomer Jamal al-Din made Kublai Khan a proposal for merging several maps of the empire into a single world map, and it resulted in the Tianxia Dilizong II. It was supposedly a world map but is lost today. He also ordered to obtain a book called Rahnama from Muslim sailors. An extant map attached to the Jingxi Dadian proves Mongols' accurate knowledge on Inner Asia that was obtained from Muslims. Influenced by these official projects, Taoist monk Zhou Siban compiled a geography monograph of China named Jiuyuji in 1297. Based on this earlier work, he created a now-lost map of China named Yudatu in 1311 to 1320. These materials were, however, too large for circulation. What directly impacted Chinese intellectuals were the secondary compilations. In the first half of the 14th century, encyclopedias such as the Handmo Quanxu and the Jizan edition of the Shilan Guangji updated the geographic knowledge from the preceding Jurchen Jin and Southern Song dynasties to the contemporary Mongol-ruled Yuan dynasty. Newly discovered materials reveal personal networks among intellectuals intellectuals of southern China, centered in King Yuan. King Jun, who was from neighboring Taizhou, created the Hanyi Jiali II when he stayed in King Yuan. Wu Sidao, who left an important bibliographic clue, was also from King Yuan. In addition, Ningbo was one of the most important seaports, and the sea routes were extended to Fuzhou and Guangzhou, and Southeast Asia, Japan and Goryeo. They must have acquired marine information from Muslim sailors. Maps in the Chinese tradition tended to be known by specific titles, easily expressed as short sequences of ideograms, such as the Yugongjiu Zhou Lidai Duam Guodu Dili Tu. Shengjiao Guangbei Tu. The Shengjiao Guangbei Tu prevailing all over the world by Li Zemin is lost. Its original state can be deduced by examining its derivative works. The Guangyu Tu by Luo Hongzhan contains a pair of maps named Dongyun Haitu and Shinan Haitu that are considered to be the southern half of the Shengjiao Guangbei Tu, although Luo's copy dropped most place names except for coastal areas and islands. The Daming Hanyi Tu, a Ming period map with much later Manchu translations of its labels, is also considered to have been based ultimately on Li Zemin's map. The Shengjiao Guangbei Tu was a world map. It contained not only China but also Africa and Europe. Luo's copy and the Daming Hanyi Tu suggest that the original depicted India more accurately than the Korean adaptation, although it is also possible that the Daming Hanyi Tu reflects 17th century knowledge. Little is known about the author Li Zemin. Based on place names on the map, it has been presumed that it was created around 1319 and revised sometime between 1329 and 1338. However, Wu Sidao's statement suggests that his map was newer than King Jun's. Guanglan Jiali II. The Hanyi Jiali II by Zen monk King Jun is lost. However, the Shuidong Riji by the Ming period book collector Yi Shang includes a modified edition of the map by the name of Guanglan Jiali II. Yi Shang also recorded Yan Ji's colophon to the map. According to Yan Ji, the Guanglan Jiali II was created in 1360. The extant map was modified, probably by Yan Ji, to catch up with contemporary Ming place names. The original map covered place names of the Mongol-ruled Yuan dynasty. The Guanglan Jiali II was one of historical maps that were popular among Chinese intellectuals. It showed historical capitals of Chinese dynasties in addition to contemporary place names. It followed Chinese tradition in that it was a map of China, not the world. But contrary to Song period maps which reflected limited Chinese knowledge on geography, it incorporated information on Mongolia and Southeast Asia. It also provided information of sea routes. Wu Sidao's work, contemporary to King Jun, Wu Sidao, author of Chunsao Zheji, merged the Guanglan Tu and Li Rulan's Shengjiao Biwa Tu, although his map is not known today. The Guanglan Tu must refer to King Jun's Guanglan Jiali Tu. It is likely that Rulan was Li Zemin's courtesy name and the Shengjiao Biwa Tu was an alias for his Shengjiao Guangbei Tu. Late maps in the Chinese tradition. In 1579, Luo Hongzhan published the Guangyu Tu Atlas, including more than 40 maps, a grid system, and a systematic way of representing major landmarks such as mountains, rivers, roads and borders. The Guangyu Tu incorporates the discoveries of naval explorer Zheng He's 15th-century voyages along the coasts of China, Southeast Asia, India and Africa. For the 16th and 17th centuries, several examples survive of maps focused on cultural information. Grid lines are not used on either Yushi's Gujinxing Shengjitu or Zhangwang's Tushubayan. Instead, illustrations and annotations show mythical places, exotic foreign peoples, administrative changes and the deeds of historic and legendary heroes.